Yeah, hi. Good morning, everyone. So, is it audible for you guys?
Yes, audible. Bro.
Okay, thank you. Let's start our session then. So, in our yesterday session, we started discussion about methods in Java. So, that means what is a method, how to write a method, what are the components available as part of the method. So, whenever we are defining a method, whenever we are creating a method, how to define a method, that means what are the components we have to take and in what way we have to think. Those are all details we started discussing yesterday. So, especially, okay, so in Java, total two types of methods we have. So, most of the times, the logic are 900% whatever the logics, whatever the task activities we have to write down to achieve some tasks, to achieve some functionality. Those are all logics we will always write down inside the methods only. So that's why method is a set of instructions to achieve a logic, to achieve a functionality, to achieve a task. For example, this is what I take. If you want to calculate EMI amount, so then you will have a formula. For that, you need this information. Input values, principal amount, rate of interest percentage, number of months. So these are the three values input. And output is one value. What it is? The EMI value. Once you are applying this formula with all these input values, then you will get some result. And that result you are calling it as a output value. So this is all our simple point of view or in our day-to-day point of view. But same thing if I want to implement in respect with respect to Java language, Java programming language. So this entire formula, this entire logic, we have to write down inside the methods. We have to write down inside the methods. So that means in a Java class, we can write down any number of methods. More than one method we will write down. So one method for one different task. So how and all we will say that. Even we taken one more example also, take two values and come up with arithmetic operations and their results. So that means two values we have to take addition, subtraction. So what you are doing generally, addition and addition logic, subtraction and subtraction logic, division and division logic, you write, right? So similarly, multiplication point of view, multiplication logic, you written. So the formulas, whatever it is, A into B, A by B, A divided by whatever it is, the formulas, whatever you are writing, this is all generally we are writing. Now same thing I have to convey or same thing I have to write inside the Java language. Then to write this kind of functionalities to achieve this kind of task, we have to write always methods only, multiple methods. So now I'll write down addition as one method, subtraction as one method, division as one method, multiplication as one method. So after that, whenever I want to see the result of two values addition, I'll always call addition method. If I want subtraction of two numbers, then I will use this logic. If I want division, then I will use this logic. Like that, we will call the methods, we will execute the methods by passing the values by and to get the result values like that. Once you implemented the methods. So that is what we are seeing that. So we are just revising. So what we discussed yesterday, methods may have input values and output values. Methods may have in the sense sometimes I'll come back this we are already discussing. Today also we will discuss. So sometimes to execute a method logic, you need some real values. That is what input values. And once the entire logic is executed, maybe you have to return a real value, return a result back to the caller. Caller means whoever call it, your method. The method, which method is called, that method will be called as caller. So that also we are trying to understand. So generally two types of methods, static and non-static. With respect to syntax point of view, you will use access specifier. And here four we have, but right now we are going directly with public only. And then static, return type. So return type point of view we discussed more yesterday. So what is the return type? Y as part of the method signature, as part of the syntax of method, you have to define always return type. So that means once your method logic is executed, whether are you returning a result value back or not, if you are returning, then what data type value you are returning, that data type you have to define here. So here I can write down return type, data type, return value, data type. So only data type. For example, your method would like to return a plain numeric values, then you can return integer. If your method is returning some string value, then you have to define string here. Your method is not at all returning anything. You don't want to return anything. Simply you will perform some activity, but you are not returning any result back. Then void keyword you have to use. Void is nothing but nothing. Void means empty. So you are not returning anything like that. You have to use void keyword. Here it is. And whenever there is a void here, then there will not be any return statement. Whenever other than void is something is there, then you have to use a keyword called as a return keyword. And then you have to return the respective data type value. If you define string here, then string. If you define integer, integer value. So if you are returning other type data type value, then you will get the compile time errors. Then compiler will say like you given different data type, you are returning different value, incompatible data, something like that, you will get the errors. So those are all details we discussed yesterday. And static and non-static point of view, if you remove static keyword, then that method will become non-static keyword. But remaining all are common. Arguments, return, whatever it is, everything is common. Only thing is static is making static method. If you remove static, then it will become non-static method. But at what time, what we have to take, we will discuss. Okay, so something. We're taking a normal example and all fine. And we will discuss all these points right now. Yeah, sometimes no input, but you will have output. So in general also, sometimes you will have input as well as you will expect output also. Sometimes you don't have any input, but you will get the output. Sometimes you will have input, but no output. So like that, 4 scenarios we will have. And based on these 4 scenarios, we are defining our methods also right now. Yeah, void, return, we discussed yesterday. I'm not going to discuss much. Non-static method, I told you already. Remaining all clear, all you have to remember as usual, like method names, return type, return statement, void, no return, okay, access specifier, arguments, whatever I am discussing right now, this is common for static or non-static. If you are not given static keyword, then it will become non-static method. So that point, please remember, but okay. Okay. So now let's continue from yesterday's topic onwards. See, yesterday we written this program. So please understand again this one more time. What's happening? JVM always returns, executes from the main method. So here you are calling which method? Name of student. So now in this case, main method is becoming caller. Main method becoming caller, right? So which method you are calling from here? Name of student. So the third method maybe. So it is all about this method. So then JVM directly jumping here and executing this method, but you don't have any logic. You return only one line logic, and you are returning 1000. And you defined as a string. That's why you given in the double quotes. For example, see here, now I'm giving Dilip Singh. Yes, it is a valid value. You are returning string value and you defined also string. So that means returning string data, defined string data type, as well as whenever a method is calling that method specific, this method is returning what? String method. String method. Sorry, string value. So that's why you have to receive the return value has to be received, right? That's why you have to define again string only here. So if you remember, methods order you can maintain any order, guys. There is no problem. Okay, so there is no problem with respect to method orders. You can define wherever you want. But every method will have opening curly brace, ending curly brace. Every method will have its own opening, its own ending, its own opening, its own ending. So please remember this format. Don't write one method inside the another method. So if you taken this and if you return inside, that means people will confuse with the curly braces. My problem, I mean, generally people will confuse is they will write like this. They'll feel like they are writing new method. Yes, you written new method only, but only thing is you written inside main method, you written one more method. There is no concept like that. Nested methods. What you have to do, main method is a starting ending. So you should not write one method inside the another methods. That rule, please remember that. So this is the format. That's why please maintain this line indentation. This will be called as line indentation, like class in between some space, methods, and logic again some space. So these are all hierarchy representing methods like that. Just maintain some line spaces and everything, then you will be very clear. So now in this case, string data type, returning string value, and whenever you are calling this method, JVM will come here, and then this method is returning Dilip Singh. So Dilip Singh is type of what value? String. So to hold that return value, again you are defining a variable here, string value. See, now in this case, value is a variable called as what type of variable, guys? This is the scenarios generally you will use this type of variable. What type of variable value in this case? Can you tell me? What type of variable is it? Static, non-static, local. No, type of variable. Local variable. Yes, exactly. So this is the scenarios you generally will create the local variables. That's what I told you. Some to hold some temporary results, to hold some temporary values. So like that, generally we will use local variables. We will create local variables. So now the result of this method is storing inside this value. So that means now finally value will contain Dilip Singh. So that then Dilip Singh will be printed here. A10, B10. So 30 will be printed. Again, in this case, what you are doing is you are calling again addition method. So addition, then JVM jumps here. All these things will be executed here. It is returning 40. For example, I'll write down like this. Yeah. So now what will happen in this case? Same thing. Again, your main method is calling addition method. So main method is calling a addition method. So main method is a caller here. Main method is a caller here. So that means what will happen again? It will jump here. JVM come here. 30, 40, 30 plus 40, 70. So result wise, what is the value you are having? 70. Again x plus y. So even 30 plus 40. So that means ultimately this method is returning what? 70 value. And it is returning integer value, right? So that's why you have to define again to hold that 70 value. To receive this 70 value as a result back by the caller, you have to create again integer bit. So remember string, string, integer, integer. So this format you have to follow this. Okay, so let's do one thing. I'll write one separate method now. I mean, one more new class. Methods one, demo one. Yeah, Java methods demo one. So you got Dilip Singh 30, 70. Yes, as expected only. Here it is Dilip Singh. Here it is 10 plus 20, 30. Here it is all about 30 plus 40, 70. So this value contains 70. That is what printed. So in between, these are all methods executed. Print my information is not executed. Why? Nobody called. Nobody called it. So that's why it's not executed. So it's not about defining. If you want to execute that method, someone else should call that method. So I'll take one more example right now. New class. Okay, so see here, public. Yeah, public class name, and then public static void main. So main method is a static method and main method is a void method. That means main method will never ever return any result. That is how Java is designed the main method. And main method is going to take one argument called as string array. What is array also? You will come to know that. What is argument? Right now we are going to discuss. Okay, so fine. Now see here, you only tell me what is the, I'll write some quick things. Public integer my mobile number, return 8125262702. I think okay, good, no problem. So please concentrate what I am writing and please answer my questions now. Public string get course name. So you can write down any number of lines. It's up to your choice. I'll write one method like that also. Return public. Okay, I'll write all static methods only for time being. Then we will see non-static later. Public static. Print see, I define here void. So in such case, you know that I cannot use return. So that means if you observe here, in this case, what my requirement is returning a mobile number always. I want always, whenever I'm calling this method, I need to get always a mobile number. So that's why that is what my requirement. So the requirement here it is, it's all about depends on the requirement, right? So the first requirement is like this. Point number one, get mobile number always. So that means what is the point here it is? If you are calling a method, it should return always some mobile number, some mobile number. So that means now mobile number, can I take it as integer or long? Mobile number data type belongs to integer or long? Generally, it is long. So but I defined integer. So what will happen? Compiler will compile. This range is within the integer range or not. So if it is out of the integer range, then compiler will say like, hey man, this is out of the range. Please try to change the value or change the data type which is falling under this range. So like that, compiler is going to give us error. Now my second requirement is get course name. Get course name. So that means it should return always a value in string format. So course names means always in the string data type. Names are always in the string data type, right? So that's why you taken string. Now my third requirement is I don't want any values. Just print all the values. Print all information of course. So in this case, if you observe, I'm saying like do some activity, but don't return any value. I don't want any value back, but do some activity. What is that activity? Printing information, of course, is an activity, but not expecting anything back. I don't, okay, this method should not return anything, but this method should perform some activity. That activity is printing all the information, of course. So that means no output, no result expecting. This method should not return anything. Then that's why I'll go for void. So like that, dynamically you have to decide which data type you have to take under. Okay, fine. So now what I will do is system dot all dot println. This is from whatever it is. I'm just writing 2-3 lines. So etc. etc. You can write down multiple lines. But now I'm not using any return statement because I used void. Void is nothing but this method will do some activity. You can write down 1,000 lines of logic also based on your requirement. But at the end of the method should not return anything because you decided as void. This method should not return anything. This method returning string, that's why string value. If this method returning, you thought like integer, but you return the long value. So what is going to happen? See here. Java C methods demo 2.java. So it is saying integer number too large. That is what expected. That's what I told you. So whatever the real value you are returning from here, that should be always match it to respective data type. Now I taken long. So see here now. Yeah. So now it is all about integer number too large. So I told you already, you have to define small l to represent the long values. Primitive data types level I told you. So yes, now your error is gone. Now let me execute the program. Compilation is completed, not execution. Now I am executing the program. Methods demo 2. So see here, no output. Why? The reason is, as a developer, you defined 3 methods along with main method, total 4 methods. So other than method main, you defined 3, but nobody called this method. Now, see what I am doing. Okay. So in this case, do I need to define any temporary local variable here, guys? Any variable in this space to hold the result? In this case, can I define something? Because I'm calling a method. So to receive the result, I need to define a variable. Can I do that? Any one of you please answer. You got my point, first of all? Yes. No. Why? This is void. Void means this method is not returning anything. Then what you will hold? I'm not giving anything to you back. You're approached me, I explained you something, but I'm not giving anything back to you to hold it. Then what is the use of your defining something? I mean, you should not define. So that's why void methods will never ever have any return value. That means you will never receive any result. So that means call the method, that's more enough. So you don't need to define any variable because it's not returning anything. That's why we should not define anything here. It is okay. Cool until this. Now what will happen based on this? It will JVM will enter into main method. It will jump to this method and it will print this line. This will print like this line and it will see, okay, this method is finished. Let's go back to the main method again. Like that it will go and there is no next lines in the method. So that's why you will see only one method executed right now. See, this time only one method is executed, but not other two methods. I'll write like this. Returning my mobile. Okay, so now this method is called, that's why this method is printed. Now can you tell me what I am doing here? It is string course name equal to something I written like this. Is it a valid or not? Yeah. So this is the, sorry. Yeah. So this is the logic I written. Now what will happen? So what I did right now is I called a method called as get course name from the method called as print course information. So that means in this case, print course information became caller. So caller calling to which method? Get course name. So that means this method. Now once this method is executed, you will get a result. I mean, this line will be printed. After that, this will be returned, and that value is going to be stored inside the course name. That value is going to stored inside the course name. So this is how you can call any method from any other method, guys. It's not like everything should be called from main method. Depends on your sequence of actions. Sequence of actions, you can call any method at any method. You can call any method at any point of time. You can call any method from any other method. So that means what is my point here? It is any method can call any other methods. Whether it is a static, non-static, also this rule is applied. So any method can call any other methods. So now what will happen in this case? How JVM will behave? First compiler. What compiler will check is everything properly, rules and regulations followed or not. For example, if I give an integer, then JVM will verify. Then JVM will verify like, okay, get course name, this guy calling. Okay, let's go here. This return type is string, but you defined as integer. Now JVM will say like at the time of compilation, hey man, you are not followed the rules. This method is returning string value, but you defined as integer. So how can I store string value into integer variable? Could you please change it to string data type? Like that, compiler will give you the compilation errors. It's not execution. See, Java C, compiler. Incompatible types, string cannot be converted to integer. So it is saying like, this method is returning string, but you defined integer. I cannot convert string value into integer type. So please define as a string only. So now if I define as string, then what will happen? Yes, the error will go away. See, that is gone. Now even if I do one thing, okay. So see here now. Now what will happen in this case also? Simple. Whatever the course name it is returning, that you hold it here and you are printing that here. Okay, that is good. Now in this case, how JVM will execute? When you are executing the program, what is going to happen? See here, JVM enters here. Step number 1, main method. JVM always looks for main method. Okay, if there is no main method, then JVM will say like, hey man, I don't find any main method. I cannot execute your entire logic flow or whatever it is. So main method is always mandatory. Print course information. So what you did in the main method level, first line itself, you are telling like go to the print course information. Then JVM will jump here. Okay. And then in this method, what you are doing, this method is saying immediately, I need to get the result from this method. Then what JVM will do? JVM will jump from here to this method. So see the flow. I'll write down the flow. So JVM first starts from the main method and entered into first line. First line itself saying like go to the method and then it is coming to this method. Now once it is coming to this method, JVM enter inside the main method. Sorry, inside this method. But in this case, you are telling like first line itself, go to this method and execute and it will provide a result and store inside this variable. Then what it will do, JVM will jump to this method. And here JVM will enter into this method. Then this line will be executed. So what is this line? System.out.println. So that means your output first, this line will be printed. Now it will come to the next line. This line is finished. And now it will come to the next line, returning. So you are ending your method. What you are returning Java full stack. So that means once by taking this value, this method is returning Java full stack and it will come back to the, once this line is executed, end of the method, right? It will come to the same line. By taking this value, it will come here. And the Java full stack value will be stored inside this course. So now what in this method you are in the first line only still. Now it will move to the next line, second line. But in the first line, you diverted JVM to other method. It went to that method, it completed that method, it again came back to the, so simple, JVM, the order, whatever it came in the same way it will go back. Where it started, main method. And where it will end means, again main method on. So in between you are giving, go to this method, go to this method. Other method is saying like go to so and so method like that. In the same way, again it will come back. In the same way, it will come back, JVM. At the end, starts at main method level and terminated at main method level. That means execution completed at main method only. So that's why, if you see here, next slide, course name contains Java full stack. So that means what will happen in this case? This line will be printed. So now, next line, this is from Dilip IT. Now this line will be printed. 3. And now this line will be printed. 4. Okay, now this is end of the method because end of the method. Then what it will do? It will immediately it will go back to the main method. Why? Because from here only, right? This method is called and this method went here and then again it will came back like that. So because of this method only, it came here. Now it is a void method, so that's why you are not defined anything. And after that, you don't have any logic. So that means end of the main method. So whenever it found end of the main method, then program execution will be terminated. So that means now what is the output you are going to see in the sense? Returning course name, Java full stack. This is from Dilip IT. Dilip sir is trainer. Dilip Singh is trainer. So like that you will see all this information as of. So see here, please understand always in a proper flow. I'm compiling again methods to class. Okay, cool. Executed, see, yes. As per our expectation only, same output came. Returning course name. Yeah. So why returning course name? You call this method. So main call this. It came here. You are calling this method. That's why this printed. And then this value returned here. And that value is also printed here. And then this is one. This is the one. You got the out. So that's why returning course name, Java full stack. This is from Dilip IT. This is Dilip Singh is the trainer. So this is how you can call any method from any other methods. Similarly, can you tell me? Okay, so I'm calling get my mobile number, okay, I'll make sure like this. I'll write get. Okay, so method name I changed as get. Okay, get mobile number. So is it a valid or not? So I told you one statement, any method can call from any other methods. So now I'm calling get the mobile number from the get course name. Is it a valid or not? Yes. As per the statement it is valid. You can call, but the problem here it is generally what will happen here it is now compiler I'll tell you, there is a small problem available. That rule also you have to remember now. See here what is that rule is. Save it. Let me compile the program. See here what it is trying to say. Error unreachable statement. Unreachable statement at line number 19 level. Whenever you're calling get mobile number, it is unreachable statement. So what is the point of unreachable statement here? It is understand flow like this again. Same, it's all common sense. So main method enters here, come cool, then it will come here. Then you are calling this method course name, then it will come here. Then this line is printed and this method is returning a logic. This method is returning a value here to the caller method. So that means you are telling to the JVM, hey JVM, my method is logic is completed and finally I'm giving you a return value, return gift to you. Take that and leave my method. Take that and leave my method and whoever is called you, go there. So this is what call, right? So then it will take this value and it will come here. But then when this line will be executed, JVM is always returning here itself. You are telling to the JVM by giving the return value, you are saying like, okay, JVM, you came here, I'm giving you the value, return value, take this return value, take this return gift, and leave immediately this method and go back to the caller. Whoever is called you, go there and provide this result. Then when this method will be executed. JVM is always returning from this line. Then that's why compiler is saying whatever the line you return, it is not reachable in future. So it will never ever reachable because JVM is returning from here itself. Then how this line is going to be reachable? So that is what it is saying to say. Unreachable statement. So that means what is the point you have to remember here? It is in a method return statement should be used as last statement. Okay, you can write multiple returns that I will tell you later, but not now. So once you are understanding conditions and all, we will see that. But simply right now, you can remember once you return a return statement, you are telling to the JVM leave that method by taking that return value. That's all, simple. So that's why in this case it became unreachable. Now see what I am doing. Same line I am copy pasting before the return, or maybe here also. Yeah, it's okay now. Before return, it should be there. So now is it a valid means? So if I'm not defining a variable here, I'm going to get any compile time error. In this case, I'm going to get any compile time error, guys. If I didn't define any variable, I'm going to get any error. Because get mobile number is returning always long data type value. If I'm not defining long variable here, are we going to get any compile time error, any runtime error? Is it mandatory to define always a variable? No. It's up to your choice. This method want that result, whatever it is returning, it wants some purpose, then you can define the variable. If you don't want, if you are not defined, what will happen in this case? In the sense, in this case, what will happen is main method started here, it come here, and then you are telling like go to this method. This method came here, and here it is saying like go to this method. Now from here again, what it is doing? It is went to this method, and this will execute this line. So that means this time this one will be printed. First line. Now next, it is returning mobile number. So by taking this mobile number, it is coming back to the caller method. So in this case, who is caller? This is the caller for time being. So now by taking this value, it is coming here. But this method is saying, okay, maybe you are coming up with a return value, but I don't want it. Like that, it's not defined any variable. But it will not throw any error. Simply the result you are not taking. That's all. So then it will move to the next line. It will print this. It will return this value. By taking this value again, JVM jump here. Because from here only it is jumped, right? So course name. So then this value will move to the course name and that course name you are printing. So that means this value will become 2 now. sorry, this one will become 2 and this one will become 3. Third line of output, fourth line, fifth line. Like that, you have to understand the methods calling flow. Java C compilation. See, returning my mobile number. So this is the first statement we expected. But you called what? From the main method, this method. But this statement is executed. Why? The flow you designed like that. The way, which way you want to call your methods, that is how you design it. So it called here and it went here and from here it went here. Now once this logic is finished, it came back here. Once this logic is finished, it came back here. Once this logic is finished, it will go back here. So that means if you observe here, the way it came, same way it will go back. And at the end of the main method, it will terminate. So that is how methods execution will happen. Now in case if you want here, long mobile, something like that, equal to yes, then whatever the mobile number you are getting, that will be stored inside this. And if you want, you can use it, you can print it whatever way you want it. So that is how you can call any method from any other methods. So is it clear now, these points, the way you are calling the methods? So we are discussing very in depth and very clearly. So please, I'm telling you one more time, it's all very, very common sense things, because that's what I told you. Just remember as a thumb rules point of view, void, no return. If it is string, string only. When you are calling string method from some other method, this is string method, string data type, return type method. So define string variable if you want that result. If you don't want, leave it. That is what. So that is how. Just think as a common thing point of view. Okay. So now let's move to the arguments point of view. So as of now, we understood like how to define a method, how to call the methods, where to use return statement, when to use return statements, when should not use return statements. If you are using return statement and if you are calling that method, so how to define a variable to hold that result. These are all details we discussed, right? So now let's come back to the most important part of the method is arguments also. So we are clear with now access specifier, public, static method, return type. Yes, we are clear with return type. Now it's all about arguments. What is the point of zero or more arguments? What exactly the meaning of arguments? When you have to go for arguments, how to define arguments? Let's see, here it is. Okay. So it's a simple, guys, method arguments, right? This is also very simple. If you just think that people who practice mathematics very well in our childhood, they can remember all these things. And that too very schooling level mathematics only, not at graduation, all these things. Method arguments. Or sometimes people will call it as parameters, method parameters also. So here, what is the point of method arguments? Here it is. Method arguments are being used to, method arguments are being used to pass values, to that method. So why the method arguments are being used to pass values to that method? So what is the point of it is, I'll tell you. For example, I ask you like this, create a method, and that method, only one method, okay? And that method should take two input values, two values. That method should take two values, and that method should return, result value. And I am talking about create a method, and that method should take two values, and that method should return addition result value. Okay, so what is the point here? It is, I'm trying to say here it is, okay. So what is my point here? It is create a method. So that means you will write some method like public, static, whatever it is. Fine. Let me write down like that also. Public, static. Okay. And then what is, okay, until this common. We are discussing right now static. That's why I written static. Now return a addition result value. And I'm taking like should take two values, and that method should return addition result. So assume those two values are integer values only. Two are integer values. Two are integer values. So now result will become always integer again. If you are adding two integer values, you will get always integer. So that's why I will take int here. What is our method return type? Integer. So how you decided integer? Because my requirement is very clearly telling return that result always. Whatever the addition you are doing for the two integer values, return always. So return expecting, I'm expecting return result. So that's why I define integer. Why you define integer? Because the ultimate result will always in the integer format. That's why you define integer. Now method name, user choice, developer choice. You can give add, addition, shop, okay, whatever it is, fine. Now, please understand the importance of arguments. Now I written like this, integer a equal to 10, integer b equal to 20, and then return a plus b. So tell me the method whatever I return is satisfying above requirement or not. The method whatever I return right now is satisfying the above requirement or not. Say yes or no. So what is my requirement? Create a method. Yes, I created a method that should take two input values, take two values and add those and return the result. Yes, the method is satisfying the above condition. Taking two input values, added those values, and whatever the result is coming, I'm returning it. So that whoever is calling addition method, what will happen? They will get 10 plus 20, 30 result always. But now my point here it is, in case the a comma b values, for example, if I'm calling addition method 10 times, for example, if I call addition method, every time what is happening is, if I call 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, so total how many times I called means 4 times. Now in this case, what will happen? Every time, assume from main method only you called 4 times. What will happen? It will go here 10 plus 20, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. 4 times you will see 30. But what is the problem here? It is, as a user now I said, no, I need to see the addition result only, but I want to pass values for every time. Whenever I'm calling addition method, I will pass values dynamically. I will pass different values. How to do that? So that means now my requirement in this case, pass different values. I will pass two different values for every time. And those two values should be passed. I would like to pass different values and then I want to see addition of it. So in this case, what will happen? Fixed, permanently hard coded or whatever it is, fixed time You are calling addition 30, addition 30, addition 30, addition 30. Why? Because in the logic level, you made 10 comma 20 as a fixed values. So let's write like this. Method arguments demo 1 dot java public class name, file name. Okay, fine. So what I will do, public static void main. Okay, sorry. String. This is what we are discussing, arguments. That's why whatever you are writing here in the shortcut, args is nothing but arguments. So I'll tell you whether it is a mandatory word or not. You can give whatever other name you want. Yes, you can give it. You will understand with this concept now. So now in this case, what I told, write one more method, public static integer addition. Right? So this is the logic you written. And then integer a equal to 10, integer b equal to 20, and then return a plus b. Yes, you can directly write like this, a value, b value as a return. So what will happen? It is returning integer plus integer. You will get always integer only, no problem. Now in this case, what I'm doing, I'm calling addition method. Then I'll get 10 plus 20, 30 as a result. So I can do one more thing also. System dot out dot print lf. So see, slowly your complexity is improving, guys. I don't know how much you are practicing, and we are going very slow also. See here, what I did, 4 times, or else I can do like this. Instead of, I don't want to confuse you right now. Addition integer result equal to, like that I take it. Now I'll print this result. I'm reusing the local variable. You can reuse it. Once you define, you can reuse it. Now again, this slide. Okay. If you observe here, what I did here, it is. Okay. So what I'm done here, it is. I defined a method addition and I'm calling that, then 10 plus 20, 30, it will come. 30 will be printed here. So again, 30 will come here, 30 will be printed, 30 will be printed, 30 will be printed, 30 will be printed. So fine. But now my point here it is, I want to pass values dynamically to the addition method. Okay, whenever I'm calling addition method, sometimes I'll pass 10 comma 20. I want that result. I will pass 4 triple 4 comma triple 5. I want that result. I will pass 10,000 comma to, I will pass 10,000 comma 20,000. I want that addition value. I'll pass 1, 2, 3 plus 1, 4, 3. I want this addition, this values addition, this values addition, this values addition. I want different values, different addition results I want it. But in this approach, what is happening? Every time in the logic level, you return 10, 10, 3, and every time it is printing 30. If you are calling 10,000 times also, you will see always result as 30. But my intention here it is, I want to pass dynamically values to the addition method. So I'll pass 10 comma 20 to this method. Then what will happen? 30 should return. If I'm passing 40 comma 60 to the addition method, then 40 plus 60, 100 I want to get. If I'm passing 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 3, then I'll get something like 161, 169 or 166, something like that. So 266 or whatever it is. So I won't get that result. So that means I want to pass values to this method dynamically. So how it is possible? So in such case, what Java is saying is, whenever you want to pass values to a method, define method arguments. Define method arguments. Now go to the point. Method arguments are being used to the pass values to the method. Passing values to the method. So that means now in this case, what Java is saying is, here you have to define the method arguments. If you take in the syntax of that, yeah, come back. So see here, this is where I told you 0 or more arguments. So in this case, what? 0 arguments. You are not defined any arguments. That's why it will be called as 0. It's a user choice. You can define 0 means no arguments, or 1 argument, 2 arguments, 3 arguments based on your requirement. So in this case, I'm passing 2 values always to the addition method. So what I will do is, see how the same solution I'm going to write down now. First, let's see here, see with arguments. In case if I am including with arguments, how things are going to happen, see here. Okay. So see here. Now what is my requirement? Taking two input values. So how many input values? Always this method is expecting two values. That's why I have to define two arguments. So how many real values you are going to pass to that method? That many arguments you can define it. So in this case, I'll pass two arguments. I need two arguments. Why two arguments? Because two input values. Two input values you need to pass to that method always. That's why two arguments. Okay, fine. And that two input values, two arguments, whatever you are passing here, is it belongs to what data type? Integer and integer. So you need to pass always two integer values. That's why integer and integer. So that's why here what you will do is you will define method arguments always in this format. So I'll give you syntax also here. So the arguments generally defined like this. I'll elaborate this. Yeah, here, whenever you are having zero arguments, this is what the thing. It's all about zero arguments. There is no input you want to pass. That's why zero arguments. Now, for example, if it is having more than one, one argument or more than one, more greater than zero arguments, simply. Then what you will do is here data type of that whatever it is, data type and followed by argument name, nothing but variable name. So this will become as a local variable only. This is also comes under local variable. So argument name, generally we can call it as method argument name, or we nothing but similar to variable name only. That is what the concept. So data type and its associated argument name, comma, again data type and its associated argument name, etc., etc., etc. So you will define more than one argument like this. So what you have to follow, data type and argument name. What is the data type and its argument name? So now come back here. My point of view, two input values. I need to pass always as per my requirement. So that's why, and the two input values are integer comma integer. So that's why what I will do, as per my statement, first data type, and you can take some variable name here, whatever you want. For example, I taken value 1. Okay, no problem. You can take x, no problem. You can take y, no problem. So I'll take for time being x. In the next example, I'll elaborate it. Now next comma, second argument. Why I need to pass two real values to the addition method always, two input values. So that's why second argument also belongs to what data type, integer. So that's why I'll give integer comma, integer x comma, integer y in between the parenthesis braces. Where you given guys? In between the parenthesis braces. So this is how, and here always method opening curly brace. Now observe here, this is what called as method arguments. This is what called as method arguments. So that means in this case, you don't need these values. And I'm returning a return statement like this. Return x plus y. I mean x plus y. So now with this approach, what is going to happen? This is how you return the method now. So in this approach, what is going to happen now? See here. Now see here, this is how you are going to define the arguments, integer x comma integer y. So now how to call this method? So if you take the approach of calling that method is addition. Okay, earlier, please understand, again, it's a very simple point. In earlier point, what you did guys? 0 arguments, 0 values. So what? Sorry. Yeah. So in earlier case, what you did? 0 arguments. When you created the method, you given 0 arguments. Okay. So 0 arguments, 0 values you passed. But this time you created addition method with 2 arguments. So that means you have to pass 100% argument values. So 100% all method arguments values should be passed. 100% all method argument values should be passed. So that means you define two integer x comma integer by 2 arguments. So that means real values. It's all about values now. It's time to pass values in place of that variable. So what you pass? So here what you have to do is I'm passing 10 comma 20 and semicolon. So that's all. See, simple. 0 arguments, 0 values. 2 arguments, 2 values. Tomorrow, if you have 3 values, 3 arguments. 3 arguments, 3 values. 10 arguments, 10 values. But must and should you have to pass values. I cannot say like, sir, I have 2 arguments, I'll pass only 1 value. Second one, I don't want to pass. No, then compiler will say, hey man, you define 2, please pass 2 values. That's all. Like that. Now, what I'm going to do? Addition of 1, 2, 3, comma 1, 4, 3, something like that, whatever it is. Addition and then some value, comma some value. So it's only integer value. You define integer. So now, for example, sir, I will pass like this. Addition 10.99, comma 55.88, something like that. Your intention is you pass two values. But in this case, what Java compiler will verify is integer, comma integer. So first thing, 2, 2. Okay, and then integer, integer. Okay, valid. Two values, two arguments. Integer, comma integer, argument, valid. Addition of 2. Integer, comma integer, yes, valid. Two values you passed, but data type is mismatching. What? Data type is mismatching. So that means it's a invalid one. So what is going to happen in this case? It is valid. This is also valid. This is also valid, but this is not valid. Why? The reason is different data type values. Different data type values. So like that, Java will take care. Java will gives us warning. So now even if you are passing, sir, I will pass only one value. Addition of 20, like that I will pass. So then Java is going to take care means what in this case Java is going to say here it is, you define two variables, two arguments, you passed only one value. So I cannot accommodate one value with two arguments method. So please pass second value, like that. It will throw some compile time method. So that means in this current scenario, it is invalid. There is a concept available method of overloading that you will understand after 10-15 classes as part of our polymorphism principle. That is a different story. But time being, it will say like, please pass two values with one value. It is not accommodatable. So that is all. You just need to understand the method arguments. Now see here what I am doing. Same method. Integer. You can take anything, guys. You can take a comma b, value 1, value 2, whatever you want. Value 1 comma integer value. So now hard coding. That is what I removed that fixed value. See here. Now what I am doing? Return value 1 plus value 2. I define my logic like this. Now what is the advantage of this? Yes. Whoever is calling addition method, they should pass always two integer values, and then you will add those two values and you are returning those values again as a integer. So see here now. Now what? Now see, now you're okay, it's closed. Yeah, this one. Okay, now see here. So your two arguments you define, but zero values. Zero values, zero values. What compiler is going to say? See, first of all, Java C method arguments demo 1. See, it is saying, hey man, 4 errors. What is that error? Method addition in class arguments cannot be applied to given types. What it is saying like, you are not passed any values. See here, required integer comma integer. If you are passing in this approach, what is that error you got means this is the error you got. That's what I told you. Invalid point of view means compiler will say an error. What is that error you got? This is the error you got. I'll remove all this. So what it is trying to say, very clearly it is trying to say, compiler, hey man, required integer comma integer, but you are not passed any values. So reason, actual and formal argument list different. There is a difference in between actual and real values point of view. That's why there is an error. So now see here, I'm saying like, no, take two input values, 10 comma 30, 123 comma 143. So some value, comma, some value, total two values. And I will pass only one value as per our example. And I will give one more, two values only. But one I will give some precision values, floating value, doublet. Now in this case, what? Compiler is going to check. See, compiler itself will check first of all before going with the execution. Now what compiler will check is, okay, this guy calling addition. Let's go to the addition. Integer comma integer. Okay, integer valid. Integer comma integer. Okay, valid. Integer comma integer. Okay, valid. Only one value, but need two values. So an error. Compiler will give an error in this place. Similarly, it will come here. Two values only. Values wise matching. Two arguments, two values, but one is integer, another one is floating value. So, but you defined here integer comma integer. This method will accept only integer comma integer, but you are passing double value. You are passing floating value. Then in this case also you will get the error. So incompatible error. Compiler will say addition method is going to take only two input values, but you pass a double value. Please correct your value like that. So in this case, it will ask to add one more value. In this case, it will ask you correct the integer value. Two errors you will get. Your program is not going to be compiled successfully. So see here. See now the error count came to what? That's what. Required integer comma integer, but you passed only one integer value. See how errors are helping us to understand the subject. That's why I will tell you, don't afraid by seeing the errors. Get the subject from the errors. Create errors, get the errors, and gain the knowledge. Errors will give a lot of practical knowledge. So see, it is very clearly saying integer comma integer. So that's why it is. Now second problem is incompatible. Compatibility problem. You get there two only required integer comma integer, found integer comma integer. Second point of view. But only thing is this is a double value. This is a integer value like that. So that is how you have to pass the value. So now see here, yes, 20 comma 88. Yes, I will pass something like some value here. Yes. So all are int comma int, int comma int, int comma int, int comma int, int comma int. And everything you are holding via integer value only, no problem. And you are printing. Say now in this case, 40 to 66 or whatever it is, and something whatever 40,000 to whatever it is, the value will be printed here. It is different values, different outputs. See here, compile the program first. Yes, no problems, no errors. Execute the program. Java. See 40, 266, 241, whatever it is, 108, different values. But if you observe previous case, yeah, I think we are not compiled at that time, but you know that what you will get always 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30 like that. If you see here our yeah. So if you see here, you got always 30, 30, 30, 30, but in this case, you got different values, different outputs. Okay. So this is how the method arguments are going to helpful for us. So what we will do is, I'll give you some assignments probably right now only. Try to do that via static methods only. And I will take a lot of other examples also tomorrow. I'll take one more example with respect to method arguments. Now I'll give you requirement like this. You only tell me what I have to do. Write a method which should print name value always. Okay, write a method which should print given name value always. So your method should print, write a method which should reprint given name value always. So can you tell me what I have to do this case? What is my point here? It is first point is what is return type? Return type. 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 Return type what is return type of method? Point number one. Second one, how many arguments required? How many method arguments are required? Yeah, tell me now. First one is string. Yes, exact. No, write a method which should print a given name value always. One is what is return type of method? Nobody answered perfectly. Try one more time. Understand the requirement. Don't worry about the answer. Okay. So don't never ever tempt for the tempting. We should not do that. Okay. Don't tempt for the answers. Just understand the requirement very clearly. Yes. Devanshu Mishra is correct. Return type is not required, I guess. That is correct. Because I given only very clearly should print. I'm not saying like I want. And I see that every word is very important in real-time projects also. This is how we will get the requirements. They will not explain very clearly like kid, okay, take some return type. It should take return, it should no, they will not do all these things. They will write like this only. Write a method which should print. I'm telling like print given name value always. So that means I'll always pass one name that should be printed. That's all my requirement. Given name value should be printed. If I given Dilip, Dilip value should be printed. If I given Suresh, Suresh will be printed. If I given Devansh, it should be printed Devansh. So that means I'm not expecting anything back. So that's why in this case, no return. That means void. Now given name, I told only one name I will give always. That's why one method argument. One method argument. That too, which argument, which data type, name I specially mentioned name. Name means name values always comes under the string. So this is how you have to take care of. See now, public, static. This is until common, public static. And then what? Void. And then print. You can take any method name. Method names wise, no, there is no problem. Print name, something like that. So here given name. I told like given name. So if you taken like this, system dot out dot print ln, and if you given value here directly Dilip Singh, something like that, what will happen? If anyone is calling this method, every time Dilip Singh will be printed. Every time Dilip Singh will be printed. But my point here it is, I'll give name my choice. Whenever I am calling this method, I'll give my choice names. I'll give different names. Then that value should be printed. So in such case, what you are doing? Then you just define here string, data type. Data type is string. So in earlier case, it is integer. Because integer values you are adding. This time it's all about string data. That's why you have to take string. So you can take argument name. Argument name is similar to variable names. You can take anything, name or whatever it is, x, y, z, whatever you want you can take. It is similar to variables only. So I taken like name, meaningful variable name. So now what I will do, I'll remove this fixed value from here and I'm passing this here. That's all. Your requirement is completed. So now see what is the beauty of this. I defined one more method, right? So I defined in the same class. Probably I'll give tomorrow assignment. Big assignment I'll give by covering all methods, variables, one by covering all the topics. I'll not give today, but please practice all this today itself. Okay, now see here what I will do. Here I'm calling print name. And can I pass value like this? No. What is the problem? Integer value, string value, mismatching. So compile time error you will get. So it is going to select. Okay, I did not save it. Control S. So it is saying like integer cannot convert it to string. So compatibility problems. If I'm giving like this, yes, In double quotes, whatever you want, you can give it. Simply, it will consider always as a string value only. Now, inside double quotes, I'll give like Dilip Singh. So here, see, I'm giving different types. First time calling given some value, second time different value, third time different value, and all. Now, what will happen? Same thing. That's all story. 1000 comes here, and that 1000 is being passed here. So in this case, execution flow, I already explained you. Control S. What is going to happen in the sense? 1000. Whenever JVM comes here, it will go to this method, print name, and then 1000 value will be passed here. And 1000 is in the string format, double quotes. What it will do? It will print 1000. Similarly, next it will come to the next line. Dilip Singh will come here. That value is passed in this case. The Dilip Singh value is passed inside this variable called as name. And name you given here. So that means ultimately Dilip Singh comes here. So system.out.println means you will get the Dilip Singh value. Similarly, Suresh. What will happen again? Suresh point of view also same thing. So you're saying like go to the print name by taking this value. Then JVM will pick up this value and JVM will pass this value to this argument. And then in this argument, what is the value you are available? JVM replace that variable name with the Dilip. Sorry, Suresh, whatever it is. Suresh. Now, name contains Suresh. Yes, system.out.println name means in the memory level Suresh is there. Suresh will be printed. Similarly, ABC sync. Now, method finish is completed. It went back here. Again, went back here. And then it is executing this line. So, again, it came here. So, this time, in the name level, the name is replaced with ABC sync. So, name is replaced with ABC sync. I mean, this time ABC value contains ABC sync. Now name means ABC sync. So ABC sync value is come here and that value will be printed. That is how things will happen here. Compile it, execute it. See here, this time 1000, Dilip Singh, Suresh, ABC sync. So that is how you have to understand. Now I'll give you one more requirement and I'll write quickly program method itself. So what is my requirement here? It is print. Yeah. So print email and age. Print email and age from one method. Okay, only one method. Write a method. I can write down like this also. Write the method which is which should print email and age of a person. Now tell me in this case again same questions. What is the return type? What is how many number of arguments? So what I said very clearly print only. I don't want back anything. So that's why no return void. But at this time my method should print two informations always dynamically. Email and age. So email I can consider dilip@gmail.com. So that means it comes under the. So that means first of all, how many values it is taking input always? Two values. Email comma age. So that means I want two method arguments. Two method arguments. And out of two, email is coming under the string data type. Second one is age. Generally student age, I mean person age will be like 25, 26, 27, 28 like that. So you can take short or you can take integer also, whatever it is. Now I taken simply as an integer. You can take short also. So now see two arguments. So how to write down the method? Same way. Public, static, void, because I don't want any value returned back. So that's why. So print email and age. So I taken something like that. Now I define string email comma integer age. See, data type followed by argument name. Data type followed by argument name. Two arguments. That's why two. If you have third one also, comma, third one. Fourth one, comma, fourth one, etc., etc. So I have two only. Now, simple, that's all. Now it's write down like why I taken this, I'll tell you. Okay, so this is how you can write down the method. See, please write in this format only. Okay, good. It looks like code. Your code also good. See how beautifully I'm writing. So please follow same kind of standards. Don't write everything in one line. Spend some time today itself so that tomorrow you can save a lot of time. It's not like today you are saving time, tomorrow you have to waste a lot of time. So that's why whatever you are doing, do right way in the right time today itself. Okay, now see here, email and age. Now it's a simple compilation problem. There is no issues. Compile it. Yes, we are good written in everything, string, email and all. Now see here, can you tell me is it a correct way or not? I'm calling the method, that is fine. And I need to pass two values, email comma age value. So now I'm passing 25 comma dilip@gmail.com. Now tell me, is it a valid or not? Yes, it is expecting two values, one string value, one integer value. Even I am also passing one integer value, one string value. But what is going to happen? See here. From this, I'll give you one point. It is saying like incompatible types int cannot converted. So that means simple, guys. The rule is, what is the rule you have to remember here? It is when a method having an arguments, okay, then caller should pass always all argument values. That is rule number one. You should not select five arguments are there, I'll pass only four. That we saw already in previous case itself. I shown you that. So that means when a method having an arguments, then caller method, whoever is calling that method, should pass always all argument values. Rule number one. Five are there, five values should be presented. Second rule. Now the second rule only we violated now. What it is? When a method is having arguments, then caller should pass always all values along with arguments order, argument type of order. So that means what is the rule you have to remember here? It is this method defined email comma age, nothing but string comma integer. So whenever you are passing values also, first place in the what email, second place in the age. So integer, string comma integer. So in the first place, you have to pass always string value only because first is what string, second one is integer. So that's why when you are passing the value also, pass the string first value. So how simply compiler is matching in this case is 25 is moving in this variable. But what it is? It is an integer variable. It is an email variable. I mean, it is an integer, it is a string. So that is what the compile time error it is giving. So that means point number one is two values should present as well as order of the data type should be as it is. So first one is string, second one is integer. So that's why now see I am writing like this. Comma 25. Yes, now it's all full. So what happened now in this case? Two arguments are there, two values are there. Out of two values also, first one is string, even string value. Second one is integer, even integer value. Okay, so it's all done, right? So that is how you have to remember the order. Now see here, compile time, no error. Execute, you got Dilip Singh 25 output also. So if you are passing different values, different outputs. Suresh, something like that. Age is 30. So like that, you can pass different values, different outputs. So compile the program. Once you made any changes, execute the program. See, you got Dilip 25, Suresh at the rate gmail.com 30, Devansh at the rate gmail.com 24. So that is how the method arguments are going to helpful for us to pass values to the methods. Whenever we want to pass values dynamically to a method, a caller would like to pass values to a method dynamically, then we have to go with the method arguments. So if you don't want to pass any real values, dynamic values to the method arguments, then zero arguments. In such case, you will write always zero arguments like this. If you are having more than one argument, you have to remember data type, argument name, data type, argument name. And whenever you define multiple arguments, those are all values should be presented as well as in the same data type order, you have to pass the values. So is it clear, guys? Very simple things only. Only thing is your attention, your practice is required. So anything else, any doubts you are having until this? So we can meet tomorrow. And I think we are done with the method signature point of view. Arguments also we completed. Return type we completed. So tomorrow we will see static versus non-static methods. And there are some rules available again to call static from the non-static, non-static from the static. Like that, there are some rules available. Those rules also we'll discuss in tomorrow's session. So with today's session, we understood how to write a method, including arguments also. So going further, anyway, we will write down so many methods. It will be regular practice. Yeah. So that's all for today. Let's connect on tomorrow. If you have any doubts, you can reach out me, and or else you can ask me today or tomorrow also in the class. I'll take care of it. Okay, assignment I'll give you tomorrow. Because the reason is tomorrow by the time we'll complete entire methods, then I'll give a big assignment, methods plus variables topic, by including old topics and methods also. I'll prepare assignment today. I think I already have it. I'll give it tomorrow. Thanks to everyone.